Good morning, good day, good evening to everyone. So, as Burr started with this, today we'll see how quickly we can do Spring Boot deployment at Kubernetes. So let me quickly go and start my presentation. So this is what I am. So I'm just going to say what I do. Yes, there we go. I work as a director of developer experience at Red Hat and an active open source contributor to OpenBIS, Che, Spring Cloud Functions, and creator of Vertex Maven plugin, and a contributor to Man Fabricate platform. So as Burr said yesterday, I mean, if you need any questions or any, please feel to share them over my social handles. That's there on the right, left-hand side of your screen. Okay, without further delay, let me go and start what we have for today. So everybody knows cloud native microservices. I'm not going to go further details into this. This is for your read when you get the slide handovers. I'll quickly go and share a short history about microservices. So maybe I could just quickly flip them through because I'm more interested in doing a demo today rather than talking through the slides. Probably would have seen this in earlier DevNation series. So how do we do microservice and what is the history of it? So we are more interested on the last part of this, maybe starting for March, 2012 until June 2014. Um, so this is what my microservice app looks usually. Um, this, for example, like I use caching, HTTP servlet, and then I use my framework of my choice, Spring Boot or Wi-Fi Swarm or Vertex. So I package them very nicely for me, and then I take it to the beautiful Spring Boot platform with Eureka for my service registry, config server for my configuration, Netflix Ribbon for load balancing, and then Zool, Hystrix, Zipkin, and all these nicely sitting uncorrelated on a Spring platform, either Cloud Foundry or any other kind of game platform. That's what's 2014. But it has its own drawbacks. I just want to quickly highlight them, a very few. Maybe once you share the when I share the deck, you should see me more details of it. So a couple of things which I said: managing on multiple hosts. How do we manage hosts to travel? All these things I'm talking about more from an automation perspective, rather than somebody coming and keying in their scripts and all other stuff. How do I scale up and down? Let's say I want to increase, I have a, let's say I have a Christmas, and then I want at the time I want to increase my application, let's say handle huge load, and then after that it has to come back down. So it should be done pretty easily. And then there was something kind of thing, how do I keep the actual and desired states? That's more characteristics of Kubernetes and pods and OpenShift and all stuff. And how do I avoid conflict post lives? How do I update them, do kind of rolling upgrade? And all about all of this, how do I use containers, right? So that's what we're going to see today. So I'm kind of taking you from the old caveman style kind of stuff, like typically like how Flintstones comes and meet Jetson, right? So I want the Flintstones and Jetson side, right? So this is our guy who's going to do this, Kubernetes. Everybody, I think most of the people who are on this session should know about, probably would have known about or heard about Kubernetes. The few points which is I want to highlight here is very important is that is the container orchestrator, and then open source, obviously, and then it's going to manage applications. So all these years before Kubernetes, we have seen that application kind of uses to manage, manage the infrastructure, and Kubernetes is first of its kind, which has come down and kind of managing applications. Um, quickly, like what we have done is like we as Red Hat, we taken Kubernetes and then we created one more upstream project, added some enterprise stuff, and then gave you what is called as OpenShift Origin. And then with OpenShift Origin, you'll get three other flavors as well. So I'm not going to go more into details. Just we know that OpenShift is enterprise Kubernetes. All right. So for these are the few microservices that we usually see, and then we'll see how Kubernetes satisfies much of these 12-factor app-related properties like monitoring, discovery, invocation, elasticity. And then we had an OpenShift, which gives you logging plus pipeline. Right? So this is quite nicely how Kubernetes and OpenShift fits into the microservice scheme of things, right? And an ideal platform for developing cloud-native Java applications. All right. So coming back to our hero of the today. So how is boot? My boot Spring Boot application? How does it looks in Kubernetes? Right? So we all know that Java-jar will make me my application done. But now today you'll see that Kubernetes will give you furthermore stuff. Still my app jar is there, but I'll do a nice packaging and deploying as a container into Kubernetes with my base container, it's actually a Docker container giving me all the other stuff that is needed for me today. All right. So quickly on a demo. So I'm just going to show you what I'm going to run today. So I've made a pretty simple application. This is one of the first things you can see today. So it's a simple REST controller which says where am I? So it means to say like it just prints out the host name from where this application is deployed. Right. So let's do quickly. So I'm on this. So what you usually do is in a Spring world, I just do maven w spring boot colon run. So it's going to show. I'm just showing you like how it usually runs. So in a usual world, I just kind of say then and then do a simple curl. Just go localhost 8080. This application is running locally, so I get a hello from a local host. So let's quickly flip and then run deploy. So for running in Kubernetes, so that's as our title said today. So it's going to be pretty easy and awesome. For a Maven user, uh, it's another Maven goal that I need to do. So I'm just going to do Maven clean package just for cleaning the stuff out so that I can show you that everything is getting built afresh. All right. So the application is up and running. So right now what I'm going to do is like I just going to fire up one more Maven Go, uh, fabricate Maven plugin. I think I have all the links given at the end of my deck, which will be shared with you people. So you can find link of this fabricate Maven plugin and read more about it, what says. So I'm just going to do a deploy, and then application is now getting packaged, and you will see the Docker containers. You'll see the Docker build getting started on the command line. And then it generates a Docker, picks up the right Docker image that's required here, and then deploy an application into OpenShift. Right? So let's quickly go back to my screen. I'll just say, I need to end this presentation so that I can show you the console. And you'll see this application getting deployed. Your pod is getting created here. You see the build, the same build logs which you saw on the command line, which is here, right here. So we'll just wait for the application to come up. You can click here and go there and then see the logs. If you want to see the logs, and you'll see the application is up and running. So once the app is run, so let's quickly wait. It's up. So I'm going to do code. Uh, I already have these things copied up for convenience. I'm just going to copy this command. And, okay. Okay, boot. There you go. So you'll see this hello board coming up from the Kubernetes pod. How do we see the pod? OC get pods. You'll see the first one right there, the hello board, which is running right there now. And then I repeat the command again. So we'll see the same stuff coming here. Right? So I'm sorry. Yeah, great. So it's the same pod. Now the host name turns out to be the host name of the Kubernetes pod that is deployed here, right? Uh, so I can also do naturally the application gives you a load balancing as well. So what I'm going to quickly do is like I'm going to go ahead and increase this pod to 2 pods now. Right, let's wait for some time for this pod while I can make ready of my command. Going to do the same old code, but I'm going to repeat this for 10. So there we go. So we got our pods up and running. And then I'm going to go back to my console. Need to get rid of this nasty escaping that happens on my side and such. Okay, there we go. Oh my god. Finishing. Got my URL going. Right, you see that it's getting flipping between the load balances 9Z, C09, D1, something like that. So if you go back to my demo, and you'll see that there are 2 pods which is running there. So which is going to give you, it's kind of doing a load balancing naturally within Kubernetes, right? So ideally, I'm getting nothing extra. It's a pretty simple command. As a Java user, I do still do the same maven deploy, and my Spring Boot application is right now running on OpenShift, right? So what we do now next is, let's go back to my slides. I'm not going to run through the slides. Let's see what we have for next. So something we built. So as we saw right now, with Kubernetes, we see all these components getting flipped up by Kubernetes, and they're like Eureka, Netflix Ribbon, config server, and all that stuff. So I'm just going to skip these slides for you to read further, and these are some modules which you can add as well. So this is what we built last year. Same stuff. Just replacing Zipkin with open tracing as standards, right? So this is something which we plan to build in 2018. It will come. So once it scales up, you should see them soon, right? So I just wanted to go back and quick another demo. So maybe I can skip this slide. I want to do a demo on discovery and invocation. So people are used to Ribbon and how Ribbon kind of do a discovery of a service and all other stuff. So what I'm going to do is like I've developed a simple calculator. I'll show you calculator Java, right? So a simple calculator app, just to add, multiply, divide, and times. So what I did is like I took this calculator, and then I went to the add a calculator service defined. So which is kind of then calls this calculator app, right? So I have an application, I mean REST URL path random add. So which is kind of go discover my service and then go and call this stuff, right? So for people who are already used to this kind of discovery applications, you'll see my application is not changing any kind. So I just still have Springboard application with enable discovery clients for doing service discovery, and then define ribbon client. But only stuff I'm doing right now is that I'm making sure that my service name is exactly the same service name of my Kubernetes service. All right. So let's quickly go and deploy this. I'm going to So you will see the command doesn't have any change. It's going to do maven deploy. Let's watch our console to see the calculator port coming up. When that comes up, I can just bring this down to 0 just to save some memory. Just to 0. Right. So let's see where we are. Okay. So it's getting deployed, and then you'll see that, yeah, the calculator is getting deployed here. We'll wait for this to come up. So addition of two numbers. Yeah, you're ready. So there we go. So we just got the simple calculator service is up and running for us. So now I have to go and deploy the discovery. So there's no change to my command, just going to do main fabricate deploy. So in case if we need to package it, just do package and then do a deploy. So sorry. Excuse me. Let's wait for this as well to get deployed so that we can fire the discovery call. So as I said earlier, this discovery application is going to discover the simple calculator service, which is a Kubernetes service deployed inside your OpenShift cluster, and then kind of respond to you back with the addition, like with the two random numbers. So what ideally I'm trying to show to the users here is that, so for a Spring Boot developer who's quite used to Netflix versus Ribbon, all kind of discovery from application perspective, there's not going to be any change when you take it and deploy. Maybe we need to kind of alter the additional plugin, the Maven plugin that is required for us to generate the Kubernetes resources that's required to deploy the Spring Boot application as a containerized application inside OpenShift. So let's see where it is. Yeah, it's there. So I'm just going to do the same. There we go. So there is two random number generated, and then the call is given to this. So if you want to observe what's the call, so we'll see this product result. I'm just going to do it once more so that I can show you that I'm calling this client with the consumer of the calculator service, but the call is actually going to the actual servers, that's a calculator, and getting the response back. Right. So the answer is 18751904113, same thing what you got here. All right. So let's move on to the last quick demo, which is kind of Canary deployments. So I want to quickly run through Canary here. So people who are interested in knowing about this. So quickly run through the official definition of what Canary is all about. And then we'll see how this canary works in a real-time deployment, right? So back again to our quick demo. So I have a greeter application. So this application has say hello from a REST URI path hello. So the first time we're going to deploy is going to deploy say hello, the same as our hello boot controller earlier, but we'll see how we deploy it twice, right? So I'm going to rely on Maven profiles here. Say Maven deploy. The first one is non-canary. Just a clean package. Cool. Once the package is done, deprecated, deploy. So, the deployment happened. We can also see what's happening on our screen. I'm just going to flip to my right. So let's see what here. Application is getting deployed right now. You created bot. It's successfully deployed. We'll wait for the pod to come up. So you'll see a greeted deployment here running. And let's see, is it over here? Fantastic. The app is running, so I'm just going to do curl again. It says great, right? So we gone hello. So, but before I kind of move to this, so what I'm going to do right now is like I'm just going to go my code and say hi, right? So I'm back to my code, and then I just need to do clean. But in this case, I have a profile in my code called as Canary. Into first package for this application, because we already had a build which has an older code, the non-canary code. Since we have changed the application to a canary code, I'm just kind of doing a rebuild of the application so that the container has the latest changed code, it's the canary code. And then I go back and do the same profile on hand and just say fabricate deploy. So it just builds a Docker image back again. And then while it does, it just so the canary is quite evident when we run multiple calls. So that we'll see the application shifting. So I'm just going to do a which about I just want to spend time to see the application getting changed once one to candy to pre-candy. The one which you observe right now is that so we already had candy deployment done earlier, and non-candy, and then we are now doing a greeter candy deployment is done now with the change which we did to the code. All right. So we have two things right now running. So I'm just going to so the way to find. I'm just going to get the pods. Grep Greeter. So so we see two pods here, the greeter pod, greeter candy and greeter pod, right? So when I do this, so we'll see this, my application is kind of shifting between non-candy and candy, non-candy and candy. Okay. So now I feel that my application is doing pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase my candy count to 1. Now we'll see every 2 requests going to the canary and 1 request coming to my non-canary. So Kubernetes distribution is not a smart canary. If you, as we said earlier in a couple of slides, if you want to go for smart canary, we can check out with STO and all other stuff, which does a very smart canary kind of stuff. Now I'm going to repeat this again. So we'll see after the first request distributed between 2, we'll see there's 2 requests goes to canary, and then 1 comes to the non-canary, and 2 requests comes to canary, and 1 comes to non-canary, right? So this is how canary deployment can be done for the Spring Boot based applications with OpenShift and using Fabricate Maven plugin, right? Uh, the last part which I want to do is like, how do we undeploy? Um, so I'm going to take this example of undeploying my Hello mode application, which is already there, but no pods running right now. Fabricate, say it is simple, undeploy. That's it. It's delete all the Kubernetes OpenShift resources that was created for this particular Java application. And you'll also see this pods disappearing from here. Right? So, and that's pretty much I have for the day. October, and any, if you want any, I can just go ahead and take any other questions.
And another question
Okay,
around
so
where can I
this
get the
is,
slides, as always?
yeah, this, but I hear your voice breaking. I'm sorry, but
The second question was, where do I get the slides, as always, which you can download from this platform, and you can also provide the URL, again, Kamesh, to where they can go find the slides.
sure, I can provide the URL right away on the chat. Yes, the summary slide of the platform has the URL for the slides. Okay, just gonna go to the question we have.
And there is another question around Gradle, use of Gradle as opposed to Maven.
Yes, I think that's a usual question which we get from any Java developer. So, but unfortunately, right now, the Fabricate Maven plugin does not support Gradle projects. So it's always Maven. So then I'm going to go for. So Istio, right now, we don't have any support of Istio with Fabricate Maven plugin. So still we have to rely on Istio, CTL, and all that stuff. Maybe that's a question bit out of context, and then it starts a new thread altogether. But right now there is no support for Fabricate Maven plugin for Istio. Fabricate is not only supported on K8s, but it's also supported on OpenShift. So as you see in this demos, I was running the Fabricate Maven plugin against Minishift, OpenShift single node cluster. In case if you're having a Kubernetes cluster running for you, or in like something like a mini cube, then you will see that application Fabricate Maven building doing a build for Kubernetes. In Eureka, Zool model, Zool is responsible for client balancing Kubernetes solutions. There is no concept of client-side load balancing with Kubernetes. The Kubernetes load balancing is done by the Kubernetes cluster. So there's nobody is right now responsible for client-led load balancing. Maybe if you are kind of, I think we touched upon in one of our slides that the future of this architecture is going to be that we will be getting an STO here. So once we get STO here, then you'll see some kind of balancing which is being taken care by the service mesh and not relying completely on Kubernetes.
Yeah, our last session was on Istio specifically, and we also published the Istio tutorial. So if you guys are interested in Istio, we have a great, huge tutorial to walk you through all the aspects of Istio, including using Spring Boot, and there's also a Vertex endpoint in that set of examples.
So for the sake of the audience, I'm just posting the URL of the demo projects to the chat so that people can grab it and then go see the projects.
Okay.
And you should soon find the slides, copy of the slides as well here, so that they can download the slides from here as well.
Well, and it's time to wrap up. So as always, thank you so much, Kamesh. And we had several hundred people on the line with us today. Hopefully you guys found it to be interesting. And if you have more questions, feel free to hit us up on Twitter. You guys mostly have my email address based on the announcements for these various events. Feel free to just email me back, and we will try to get back to you as soon as we can. Kamesh, thank you so much.
And thanks, everyone. Thanks, Blur.